In this video, you're going to see how to wrap the back bumper of this SUV using color change film and tools from Rvinyl. The first step on a back bumper like this is to clean. Lots of dirt can build up on this upper area, and a big focus should be put on the edges. Always be sure to use a tucking tool and a high absorbent microfiber towel to get in here, and keep in mind that these cleaners can be purchased from Rvinyl. And because this is such a complicated object in terms of recessed areas and angles, it's highly recommended to wrap it in two pieces. Here, 3M Knifeless tape is being put on the body line that separates the inside portion of the bumper from the outside. This will set up a perfect overlap that will disappear into the body line. So, take a piece that fits this top section, cut it to size, always leave extra material left to right, release the entire liner because material from Rvinyl has a low initial tack that is very easy to install. Then, once on those steep peaks in the recessed area, make relief cuts. This will allow the material to relax into the body line without overstretching. Relief cuts are a great way to keep the material under 10% stretch and also avoid having to use a heat gun, which can slow down the install. The goal is to never bridge and jam the material, and once it's into the knifeless tape, release it, pull away the excess material, and now you have a perfect cut right in the gap. And for this top section here along the rubber molding, using a sharp blade, get the right angle, cut away the excess film there because there's no cut directly on the paint, and the top section is now complete. This means we can now move on to the outside section. The first step is to apply 3M Knifeless tape one more time. Put the edge of the Knifeless tape on the edge of the piece that was just installed. This will help ensure a 1/8 of an inch overlap. Once the Knifeless tape has been placed there, masking tape any areas that are raised objects, and put Knifeless tape on the outside portion of the bumper, in this case on the back fender. Now, place the panel in position on the back bumper, and keep in mind that some color change from Rvinyl is directional, so make sure the logo on the liner matches the other sections on the vehicle. Now, release the liner roughly 2 to 3 feet. Tack it on one corner so it holds, then release the liner toward the middle, pick the material up and make sure it evenly stretches right at the center point. Lightly tack it in position, and once it's tacked at this spot, now it's time to heat the film around the outside corner. Warm the film so it's just above 120 degrees, then stretch it around the corner and make sure the tension is even right in the middle. If it's even right in the middle, then the top and bottom sections can easily be picked up and the wrinkles disappear. So the goal is to create glass, no wrinkles on the film. So if done right, it should be very easy and straightforward. So once one corner is glassed out, then it's time to go back and do the other side. Heat the film and stretch in the exact same way. Make sure the tension is even top to bottom. Once it's set, glass it out, and now, if the bumper has recessed areas, like in this case, pick the material up and feed it in, don't jam it in, then squeegee it onto the surface. Always start in the middle and then work out towards the sides. Once the middle section is done, if the material is glassed out, it's simply just about squeegeeing. The material from Rvinyl has what's called air egress features and is repositionable, so this allows the air to escape during the squeegeeing process so the material doesn't have to be held away from the surface the entire time. So once the material is squeegeed onto the surface, now let's focus on this vent. Here, lightly cutting on the masking tape allows the film to be relaxed into the base. So once that relief cut is made, pick the material up and away from the raised object and tuck it evenly into the base. Always be sure to read the wrinkles and squeegee at a 45-degree angle using about 1/4 inch of the width of the squeegee. As it works around to the bottom here, more tension builds up, so another relief cut is made, the material picked back up and tucked into the base. This is a great way to keep the film from overstretching and makes for high quality. Once to the base, take the tucking tool, in this case an Avery Dennison Flexstream, this is sold at Rvinyl, tuck it deep into the base and then cut the excess film away right at the base. This is not cutting directly on the body of the bumper, but next to it. Remove the excess film, then come back in with the tucking tool one more time to make sure the material is deep behind the vent. Once that section is done, it's time to get the material to the outside edge so it can be cut away. Here's another recessed area so the material is picked up and fed into it so it doesn't overstretch. Then the material is cut away from the outside. Always be sure to let the blade run alongside the car so it doesn't jump out of the gap, and always immediately come back with the squeegee and seal the deal. Once that bottom side is done, the top knifeless tape can be released. This knifeless tape allows an extra bit of film to go in between the gap for full coverage. So once the excess film has been pulled away, release the knifeless tape completely, and then tuck it immediately in the gap with that tucking tool. Now for this top section, where it's going to meet up with the first piece that was installed, heat the film and gently work it into those gaps. Once the film has reached the recessed area and where the knifeless tape is set up, then the film can be heated and warmed so it's set in place. Make as many relief cuts as necessary to relax the film to the edge. Then release the knifeless tape, always pull perpendicular for a straight, even cut. And once the knifeless tape has been released, then you can remove the excess film and then make sure the edge is fully sealed. And as you can tell, that overlap completely disappears into the body line, so you have great coverage and quality without having any durability issues. And with that, the back bumper is wrapped. Now keep in mind that it's always a good idea to wipe the wrap down with Aftercare Cleaners, and these can be purchased from Rvinyl. These Aftercare Cleaners are very effective at removing any handprints that got on the wrap during the install, and they also put a nice glossy top coat on top of the wrap that helps it stay clean and shiny. And as you can see, that overlap of the two-piece install on the top of the back bumper simply just disappears, so if done right, it looks super professional and again holds up well for the long term. Also keep in mind that when reinstalling the hardware, do so carefully so it doesn't damage the back bumper, and note that there are several other videos in this series on wrapping this SUV with color change film from Rvinyl, so be sure to check those out as they're filled with great tips and tricks. This has been a how-to video for Rvinyl. Thanks for watching.